The internet is shaking right now because Jason Lee just did the unthinkable. He claims to have leaked private secrets that could end Beyoncé's entire legacy. Yeah, you heard that right. Beyoncé, the woman who built an empire of perfection, mystery, and silence, might finally be facing her biggest PR nightmare ever. It all started when Jason Lee, the controversial media boss known for his fearless mouth and viral takedowns, went live with a cryptic message: "Y'all worship people who ain't who they say they are, and I'm about to prove it." Within minutes, social media exploded. Fans were stunned. The Beyhive was in full attack mode. And industry insiders started whispering that Jason had receipts, real ones, that could tear down everything Beyoncé's team spent decades protecting. But the question everyone's asking is, why now? What made Jason go after the most powerful woman in music? And more importantly, what's really hidden behind Beyoncé's flawless public image that's got her camp panicking behind the scenes? Because if what Jason's hinting at is even half true, this isn't just another celebrity scandal. This could be the downfall of an empire. It started like any other day on social media until Jason Lee opened his phone and decided to break the internet. Jason Lee, the man who never bites his tongue, the man who built his brand on exposing industry secrets, went live and said one sentence that sent shockwaves across Hollywood. "Y'all ready to see your queen without her crown?" At first, people thought he was trolling. Jason's known for his drama, messy celebrity gossip, controversial takes, feuds with A-listers. But within minutes, hashtags like #BeyonceExposed and #JasonLeeLeaks were trending across X, Instagram, and TikTok. Nobody could believe it. Beyoncé, the most untouchable figure in music, the woman who built a 25-year career without a single scandal she couldn't control, suddenly in Jason Lee's crosshairs. This was war. Sources close to Jason claimed he had been sitting on this information for months. Apparently, a trusted insider within Beyoncé's own circle, possibly someone from her PR team, had reached out to him after being mistreated and unpaid. That source allegedly said, "People don't know the real Beyoncé. She's not the angel she pretends to be." And according to Jason, that was enough. He started digging. He reportedly got access to private emails, voice memos, and even confidential recordings from a certain high-level meeting inside Parkwood Entertainment, Beyoncé's company. Fans didn't believe it at first until Jason uploaded a 15-second blurred audio clip to his Instagram story. The voice in the clip sounded eerily similar to Beyoncé's, and she could be heard saying something about protecting the brand at all costs. The internet went wild. The Beyhive flooded Jason's comments with the emojis, threats, and accusations of lying. But instead of backing down, Jason fanned the flames. He went live again and said, "You can send all the bees you want. The truth don't need honey, it just needs light." That line alone got millions of views in under an hour. Behind the scenes, however, people close to Beyoncé said her team was panicking. A Parkwood executive allegedly told TMZ, "We are aware of the false narratives being circulated and are taking immediate legal action." But fans noticed something strange. Beyoncé herself stayed silent. No posts, no statements, not even a cryptic lyric or a subtle photo. Nothing. And that's when the conspiracy theories began. People started connecting dots: old rumors, mysterious NDA agreements, and even a few resurfaced clips from her former dancers who'd complained about being silenced. A former choreographer who had once toured with Beyoncé during the Formation World Tour suddenly started liking shady tweets that read, "Jason Lee ain't lying this time. The truth always comes out even if it's dressed in gold." By this point, even mainstream outlets were picking up the story. TMZ ran a headline that read, "Jason Lee claims Beyoncé's inner circle turned on her audio leak pending." Entertainment Tonight tried to get a comment from Beyoncé's publicist, Yvette Noel Schur, but she allegedly hung up mid-call. And that silence? It only fueled the fire. Because in the world of celebrity scandals, silence isn't protection, it's confirmation. One insider from Jason's camp told a gossip blog, "Beyoncé's whole team is trying to bury this before it spreads, but it's already out there. She's too used to controlling the narrative, this time she can't." Then came the second leak. Jason posted a photo carousel with the caption, "Y'all asked for receipts. Here they come." The slides included blurred screenshots of alleged conversations between someone on Beyoncé's PR team and a well-known entertainment lawyer discussing how to contain a brewing lawsuit. Fans went feral. Was Beyoncé covering up something major? Did Jason just expose the Queen's biggest secret? Even celebrities started reacting. Nicki Minaj tweeted then deleted, "They love to build queens up just to tear them down." Cardi B, who has had her own history with Jason, went live laughing and said, "Y'all better leave me out of this mess. I don't want no parts of the Beehive." But the most shocking part, Jay-Z's reaction. According to insiders, Jay-Z was furious, not at Jason but at whoever leaked the information. He reportedly held a private meeting with Beyoncé's security and PR team, demanding to know who the mole was. One witness claimed, he said, "I built empires out of loyalty, and one rat can burn them down." Rumors started swirling that Beyoncé herself felt betrayed not by Jason, but by someone very close to her. And that's when the story turned from scandal into betrayal. Because word on the street was, the person feeding Jason the information wasn't a random employee, it was a longtime associate who had been in Beyoncé's circle since her Destiny's Child days. The betrayal hit like a thunderclap. Fans started combing through old photos, trying to figure out who it could be. Was it a former dancer? An assistant? A friend she once called family? Jason only added to the chaos when he tweeted, "When loyalty ends, truth begins." By the time that tweet hit, the internet was obsessed. TikTokers were making full documentaries. YouTubers were dropping Beyoncé exposed breakdowns every hour. And the Beehive? Divided. Some fans defended her fiercely, calling Jason a clout chaser. Others admitted something felt off, that maybe, just maybe, the image of perfection Beyoncé built wasn't the full story. But no one could deny one thing. Jason Lee had done what no one thought possible. He made Beyoncé bleed. And the scary part? He promised it was just the beginning. He said at the end of his live, "And after that, y'all will never look at your queen the same way again." The world was watching. The Beehive was trembling. And Beyoncé's empire for the first time ever was cracking. When Jason Lee said part 2 drops tomorrow, the internet didn't sleep. Fans stayed glued to their phones, waiting for the next bombshell. Everyone wanted to know what could possibly be bigger than exposing Beyoncé's private audio. But when the clock struck midnight, Jason didn't just post a leak. He posted a video, a 3-minute clip titled, "The Truth About Beyoncé Part 2, Behind the Brand." The thumbnail? A blurred photo of Beyoncé in a boardroom, face serious, hand on her chin, surrounded by papers and a laptop with the Parkwood logo visible in the corner. It looked too real to be fake. And that's exactly why people lost it. The video began with Jason saying, "For years, we've worshipped perfection. But perfection always has a price. And now, y'all about to find out who paid it." He then played a snippet allegedly from an internal Parkwood meeting where Beyoncé's voice could be heard saying, "If anyone leaks numbers or private data, we shut them down. I don't care who it is." The internet exploded. People claimed she sounded cold, calculating, and ruthless. Words that didn't fit the goddess-like image she'd built for decades. And just like that, the narrative shifted. Now, Beyoncé wasn't being seen as a victim. She was being painted as the villain. Jason leaned into it, saying, "This is who runs your favorite industry, a woman who silences everyone around her. And y'all call it power." Within hours, celebrities began unfollowing Beyoncé quietly, some even deleting old posts featuring her. A list names like Doja Cat, Megan Thee Stallion, and Chloe Bailey suddenly went quiet online, avoiding the topic altogether. But one name refused to stay quiet: Solange. Sources say Beyoncé's sister lost it when she saw Jason's new video. An insider close to the Knowles family allegedly told Hollywood Unlocked ironically, Jason's own outlet, "Solange was yelling on the phone. She said, 'This man's playing with our family name and you're just sitting quiet?'" The same insider claimed Beyoncé told her sister, "Silence wins wars. If we speak, we validate him." But Solange wasn't having it. She reportedly called Jay-Z and said, "I'm not watching my sister's legacy burn over a rumor. Handle it." Jay-Z allegedly responded coldly, "You can't fight the internet, Solange." Those words hit hard, because deep down, they knew Jason Lee wasn't just leaking gossip. He was dismantling control. For the first time in her career, Beyoncé couldn't predict the narrative. Then came the twist no one saw coming. Jason uploaded a second clip, this time not on Instagram, but on X-Twitter, claiming it was a voicemail from a former team member fired by Beyoncé years ago. In the voicemail, a woman can be heard crying, saying, "They destroyed my life for telling the truth. She said she'd blacklist me if I spoke out, and she did." Jason captioned it, Guess who she's talking about? Hashtag the hive is cracking, fans started theorizing. Was it Tiffany Monique, one of Beyoncé's former backup singers? Was it an old assistant? No one knew, but the internet ran wild with speculation. Some TikTok creators started doing voice match analyses, trying to identify the speaker. Others began reposting old footage of Beyoncé with her former staff, claiming they saw the tension even back then. Meanwhile, Jason Lee was basking in the chaos. He went live again, smirking as he said, "They're trying to shut me down right now. I just got a call from someone at Rock Nation. They're threatening legal action. But guess what? Truth can't be copyrighted." That line became a meme. Fans started using it in captions, edits, and TikTok skits. But behind closed doors, Beyoncé's team wasn't laughing. A leaked email thread allegedly from Parkwood's crisis department showed plans for digital damage control, which included mass reporting Jason's content, redirecting Google search results, and planning positive Beyoncé news on outlets like Vogue and Harper's Bazaar. Insiders said Jay-Z ordered NDAs to be reinforced across the company, while Beyoncé herself called a private meeting in Los Angeles only for her inner circle. At that meeting, one source claimed Beyoncé said, "This will pass. But someone in this room helped him, and I will find out who." Chills. Because that confirmed what everyone suspected: the mole was still inside. And here's where things got darker. Jason went on live the next day and dropped what he called the real betrayal. He claimed the mole was a woman Beyoncé personally mentored, someone she called a little sister. The internet instantly went into detective mode. People pointed fingers at Chloe Bailey, others at Kelly Rowland, even at her stylist. But Jason stayed cryptic, saying only, "She stood beside Beyoncé for years, and when she asked for her flowers they ignored her. Now she's speaking through me." Fans were losing their minds. Twitter threads were breaking down every Beyoncé friendship from the last decade. Photos, interviews, deleted tweets, everything was being re-examined. One user wrote, "Jason doesn't need to name names. We already know who's bitter enough to flip." Meanwhile, a video surfaced of Beyoncé leaving a recording studio, and for the first time ever, she looked shaken. No makeup, no smile, no bodyguards surrounding her usual bubble of security. Just Beyoncé, walking briskly with her phone pressed to her ear. Paparazzi shouted, "Beyoncé, any comment on Jason Lee's leaks?" And she ignored them. But the footage went viral anyway. Fans began saying the words no one ever thought possible. "Beyoncé looks scared." That night, Jason tweeted again, "Y'all think this is about gossip? Nah, this is about power. And the empire's falling apart from the inside." By now, even mainstream media couldn't ignore it. CNN ran a piece about the Jason Lee versus Beyoncé scandal. The New York Times called it a digital takedown of pop royalty. And the Beehive? Completely split. Half of them defended her like soldiers, spamming Jason's accounts. The other half started asking uncomfortable questions about exploitation, NDAs, and the cost of fame. One viral TikTok said, "Maybe Jason's exposing something bigger, maybe he's showing what happens when an industry queen becomes untouchable." Meanwhile, Jason hinted that more proof was coming. He said, "You've seen her business side. Wait till you hear about her personal life." That was the moment everyone realized he wasn't done. Not even close, because according to him, the next leak wasn't about music. It was about Beyoncé's family. And if that turned out to be true, the Beehive might never recover. By now, the entire internet was in meltdown. Jason Lee wasn't just trending, he was the trend. Every gossip blog, every reaction channel, every T page had one headline on repeat: "What will Beyoncé do now?" And that's exactly what Jason wanted. The man was everywhere: podcasts, live streams, even late-night Twitter spaces, dropping hints like breadcrumbs while the world went wild connecting the dots. But this time, he promised something darker. He said, "If y'all thought part 2 was heavy, wait till you see how deep this goes." The empire's not just cracked, it's bleeding. Fans waited, hours turned into days. And then he posted a black screen with one chilling caption, "Part 3, The Carter Curse." It dropped at 6:00 p.m. sharp, and within minutes, the internet exploded all over again. The video opened with Jason sitting in a dimly lit studio. He didn't yell. He didn't gloat. He spoke quietly. Every empire falls not because of enemies, but because of secrets kept too long. Then came a clip dramatized for effect of a woman pacing through a penthouse hallway, phone in hand, whispering angrily. He promised this was over. He swore no more skeletons. And now look. Jason leaned in and said, "Sometimes the people who look untouchable are the ones closest to breaking." The internet went wild. Comment sections filled with, "He's talking about Beyoncé and Jay. What skeletons? Is this about the elevator incident?" Everyone remembered that video Solange swinging in an elevator while Jay stood silent and Beyoncé stared straight ahead. The world thought that chapter was done. But now, Jason made it feel fresh, dangerous again. Then, he claimed to have second-hand receipts. A dramatized voice message played over blurred footage saying, "After that elevator thing, the family was never the same. Trust died that night." Jason didn't say who it was. He didn't have to. He let imagination do the work. He kept talking. "There's been a war going on behind closed doors between love, loyalty, and image. You can't build an empire this perfect without cracks showing eventually." And that's when the twist hit. He revealed a storyline that would fuel headlines for the next week, the idea that someone inside Beyoncé's own inner circle was feeding the drama, not for revenge, not for clout, but because they wanted to protect her. Jason's tone changed, softer, almost sympathetic. "You ever love someone so much that you try to save them from themselves? That's what's happening here. Someone's trying to free her from the image she's trapped in." Theories exploded again. Some fans believed it was her longtime creative director. Others said it was a family member. And when a blurred-out photo of a woman's silhouette appeared behind Jason during the video, TikTok detectives went into overdrive. But behind the scenes, Beyoncé's team fictionally was scrambling. In this dramatized world, Parkwood's crisis unit was in overdrive, deleting hashtags, blocking fan accounts, and contacting every outlet they could. Inside a private mansion meeting, Jay-Z reportedly told his team, "We can't win this online. We've got to change the narrative." But Beyoncé, calm as ever, said, "The story doesn't break me. It just reminds them who I am." That line hit like thunder. Because while the world thought she was silent, Beyoncé was planning her counter-move not with words, but with art. Her team leaked whispers of a surprise documentary titled The Price of Power. The rumor was that the film would show the real Beyoncé, the woman behind the flawless image. The mother, the creator, the survivor. Jason immediately mocked it online, posting, "Oh, so now we're getting a sympathy doc? Cute. Let's see if it drops before I do part 4. The feud had officially become a war, and fans were picking sides like it was rap beef. Twitter became a battlefield, one side waving B emojis, the other posting clips of Jason's show calling him the truth teller. Then came one of the most cinematic moments in the entire saga. At a major award show, Beyoncé made a surprise appearance, glowing, unbothered, draped in gold. As she walked the red carpet, paparazzi yelled, "Beyoncé, any comment on Jason Lee's claims?" She paused, looked straight into the cameras, and said, "God handles lies better than I ever could." Mic drop. The crowd roared. Jason tweeted 5 minutes later, "If God's handling lies, then why are my truths still trending?" The drama doubled overnight. Every outlet replayed her quote. Reaction videos hit millions of views in hours, and still nobody really knew what was real or fake anymore. In this whirlwind, the fictional narrative became about more than gossip. It was about control, legacy, and survival in an age where one viral video could shake an empire. Jason claimed he had one more thing left to release, something that would end the Carter era forever. But this time, people started wondering if even he was being played, because whispers surfaced that his own team was turning on him, that someone from Beyoncé's camp had offered a deal: silence, in exchange for fame. Jason posted cryptic tweets like, "They think they can buy me, but they can't control the truth." And the internet held its breath. Would he take the deal? Would Beyoncé's empire finally strike back? Or was the real betrayal still waiting to be revealed? One thing was clear, in the court of public opinion, both Beyoncé and Jason Lee had crossed the point of no return. This wasn't just celebrity drama anymore. This was digital warfare, the kind that decides who gets remembered as royalty and who becomes a cautionary tale. And just when people thought it couldn't get any messier, Jason posted a single sentence that sent the internet into chaos again. Next episode, Family TIs. The internet had gone quiet. Not because the drama was over, but because everyone knew something massive was coming. Jason Lee had gone silent for 48 hours. No lives, no tweet no stories. And in the influencer world, silence means one thing: strategy. He reappeared at midnight, standing in front of a black backdrop with the words, "Family TIs" written in gold behind him. His tone was serious, almost mournful. "I never wanted this to go this far," Jason began. "But when power becomes a cage, somebody gotta rattle the bars." Then the footage rolled. A dramatized clip flashed on screen, a family dinner scene. A woman eerily reminiscent of a queen-like superstar, sitting with her husband, kids, and sister. Laughter echoed through the room. Until someone at the table said, "You can't hide forever. Secrets always find a way out." The tension hit instantly. Jason's narration cut in. They built a dynasty together. But inside, it was war, between image and reality, loyalty and freedom. He then revealed what he called the final secret, a fictionalized storyline about how the Queen's family had grown distant, each person protecting their own version of truth. They call it love. But love built on silence eventually breaks. The internet lost its mind. Some fans called it artistic. Others said he'd gone too far. One fan tweeted, "He's turning her life into a movie." Another said, "At this point, Jason's playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers." Meanwhile, in this dramatized world, Bianchi's team was in full lockdown. Publicists, lawyers, managers, all scrambling. A fictional source close to Parkwood said, "She's not angry, she's hurt. Not because of what he said, but because of who's watching." And that's when the impossible happened. A surprise statement dropped on Bianchi's official page, something she almost never does. It read, "The truth can't be leaked if you own it. Thank you to everyone who still believes in grace." Just 21 words, but they broke the internet. Jason's live chat flooded instantly. "Did you see her post?" She finally responded. "She's clapping back in silence again." Jason smirked during his next live. "Oh, she saw it. But this isn't about grace, it's about guilt." Then in a wild twist, Jason announced his own documentary deal. Netflix just called. They want the full story uncut, raw, and unreleased. Fans couldn't believe it. What started as a social media scandal had turned into a streaming war. But while Jason was celebrating his win, something unexpected happened. His Instagram vanished. Gone. Every post, every video, every reel wiped out. People thought it was a glitch. But minutes later, he went live from a backup account and said, "They did it. They really pulled the plug." He hinted at legal threats, copyright strikes, and corporate interference. But his followers didn't care. They rallied behind him, saying, "Jason versus the industry, we ride at dawn." This time, though, Jason's tone changed. He looked tired, drained, maybe even regretful. "You know what I've learned? When you go up against an empire, you don't just fight one person, you fight the whole machine." He paused. "But I'd do it again. Because legends ain't born clean, they're built from the chaos we survive." And then he logged off. No outro, no tease, just silence. The next morning, every news outlet in the fictional world had the same headline: "Jason Lee deletes everything. Bianca stays silent." The internet divided forever. A week later, whispers began that Bianchi's new era was coming, a surprise album called Phoenix. No one knew if it was real, but the symbolism hit deep. From the ashes of chaos, she was rising again. Meanwhile, Jason vanished from the spotlight, only posting one final message to his followers: "The truth never dies, it just changes who tells it." And that became the closing line of this entire saga. Because in this world, there are no heroes or villains, only survivors. Bianca, the icon of control and grace, faced her loudest storm and came out shining. Jason Lee, the man who challenged power, became a legend of his own, proof that truth and chaos walk hand in hand in the age of viral fame. And as the dust settled, one thing remained clear: the game had changed forever. No one was untouchable anymore. And that, folks, is how the Jason vs. Bianca digital war took over the entire industry, a battle of truth, power, and survival in the internet age. What started as gossip turned into a modern-day empire war with loyalty, betrayal, and legacy all on the line. It's a story about how fame works in 2025, where one post, one leak, one voice can shift everything you thought was real. Now here's the question for you. Do you think Jason Lee was exposing truth, or just chasing clout? And do you believe Bianchi's silence made her stronger, or did it finally show a crack in the perfection we've always seen? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to see where y'all stand. Was this a fight for justice, or just another digital power play? And remember, in today's world, Fame isn't about who's loved, it's about who can survive the story when it turns against them. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the chaos, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on notifications because the next story, it's even crazier than this one. Stay tuned, because in the music industry, nothing stays secret for long.